Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. I would like you to take this opportunity to please find your seats and please silence your cell phones. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding Officer of Officer Training Command Newport, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Officer Candidate School Class 0220, consisting of 91 candidates. Guests are encouraged to take photos from the viewing area at any time during the ceremony, except for during the playing of the national anthem. The order of today's events for the ceremony are as follows. At 10:30, Captain Nicholson, United States Navy, Commanding Officer of Officer Training Command Newport, and Rear Admiral Sarah Joyner, Commander of Carrier Strike Group 2, the guest of honor for today's ceremony, will arrive. The guests will be asked to rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation. The Commanding Officer and the guests of honor will address the graduating class, and the class will receive the oath of office from our guest of honor. The graduates will then be recognized through the presentation of their commission by the Commanding Officer and the guest of honor. Guests will be asked to rise for the playing of service songs and for final dismissal. Again, allow me to emphasize that you are encouraged to take photographs at any time during the ceremony, with the exception of the playing of the national anthem. Officer Training Command Newport, arriving. Carrier Strike Group 2, arriving. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Sutphin will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we come to you in prayer as our first and highest duty, offering our grateful praise for your abundant goodness. Make us aware of your presence and be known among us as the author of strength, mercy, and joy. The character of Class 0220 has been established through suffering and toil. They have been tested and found worthy. May this be no transitory state. May they be known while they serve throughout their lives and long after, for they are consummate integrity. What they have gained in knowledge and physical strength, match for them now in spiritual will to accomplish far greater things in service to the fleet, the nation, and the world. And may they always recall fondly their formative moments on these grounds. Bless each member of this class team by the measure of what they have generously given. Let them be encouraged by the continued success of these new ensigns. Guide us to honor those united in applause today and the many more they represent, joining us from around the world who were active in the course of events that led to this celebration. Faithfully we offer these prayers to you, O God, our refuge and shield. Bless those who go forth now to stand the watch. May all here gathered find ourselves daily restored, confirmed, strengthened, and established by your mighty hand. In your holy name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Nicholson, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command, Newport.
General Moore, Admiral Joyner, captains, colonels, distinguished guests, family members, friends, and most importantly, soon-to-be commissioned ensigns of Class 0220. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's my sincere honor and privilege to be with all of you this morning to recognize and celebrate the achievement of these 91 young men and women sitting in front of me, America's very best and brightest, as the newest ensigns in the United States Navy. For the families, I want to thank you, not only for making the long trip to be here this morning, but for the performance of your sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. Your love and support have helped produce the quality individuals seated here and enabled our outstanding team of recruit division commanders, drill instructors, and class officers to further develop them morally, mentally, and physically into future leaders of character and competence. On behalf of the Navy and on behalf of the grateful nation, thank you for your efforts. For Class 0220, the profession of naval officers, much like the medical and law professions, requires its members to take an oath. In just a few minutes, your parents, spouses, and loved ones, along with the OTC staff and myself, will bear witness as you raise your right hand and swear a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution. This oath carries far more obligations than privileges. It carries the obligation to serve in the most trusted institution in America. According to Gallup polls that stretch back for more than a decade, the American people trust the military more than any other institution. A list that includes the Supreme Court, Congress, organized religion, police, public schools, our medical system, and our criminal justice system. It is up to you to maintain this trust. As George Washington once stated in an address to the officers of the Virginia Regiment, remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make the officer, and there is more expected from him or her than the title. As an officer, you will lead and mentor what is truly one of our most valuable national assets, the enlisted men and women of our Navy. The American people are trusting you trusting you to care for and lead them in defending our Constitution. I challenge you to maintain and build upon the American people's trust through your actions as a naval officer. Lastly, as we formally welcome you all into the wardroom of the world's greatest Navy, and you prepare to head out to the fleet, I will leave you with some words of the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. I have another honor and privilege this morning, that of introducing our guest speaker, Rear Admiral Sarah Joyner. Her extensive bio can be found in your programs, but I'll hit a few highlights. A graduate of the United States Naval Academy, Admiral Joyner received her Wings of Gold in 1991, and his flight hours in the A-4E Skyhawk, F-18 Hornet, and Super Hornet, as well as the EA-18G Growler. In 2007, she became the first woman to command a strike fighter squadron when she assumed command of VFA 105 gunslingers. And in 2013, she became the first female to command a carrier air wing when she took command of CVW-3 and led her team aboard the USS Harry S. Truman to the Arabian Gulf. After her selection to flag rank, Admiral Joyner has held numerous leadership positions, including the Director for Manpower and Personnel and the Joint Staff. Currently, she is the commander of Carrier Strike Group 2. Please join me in welcoming this morning's guest speaker, Rear Admiral Sarah Joyner.
Good morning. Good morning. Well done. Graduates, families, faculty, it is truly an honor to be here with you today to celebrate the momentous achievement and to be here with the graduates. Thank you for choosing a profession unlike any other, being a part of our future Navy, and most importantly, for volunteering your service to our country. As we carry the fight to our adversaries, defend our country, and rise to meet the challenges facing our ever-evolving Navy. The key word today is foundation. It is defined as an underlying basis or principle, something you establish with time and effort. Your training here at OCS will serve as your foundation to your legacy and to your future service. There are 91 candidates here for this commissioning, and you will be going into 9 different warfare specialties and different specialties, including surface, aviation, submarines, intelligence, information professional, cyber, civil engineering, and supply. That's a strong showing from your class. Each of you will rely on the foundational knowledge that you gained here, as well as your bonds of friendship and your strength of character that you developed at OCS. Time management, perseverance, and the ability to perform under pressure. All of these capabilities are essential to your success in the future. And yes, the capacity to wake up at 5 a.m., 7 a.m. for the aviators, perhaps, will also be helpful. Each of you has chosen OCS because you possess the competence to grow and develop as warfighters, the character to strengthen our sailors, through core values and resilience to bounce back when days are tough. And trust me, there will be many tough days ahead. I'd like to talk to you about a true hero in tough days, Vice Admiral Stockdale. His experience during the Vietnam War in September of 1965, while serving as an A-4 pilot, he was forced to eject over North Vietnam after taking enemy fire. Sorry, North Korea is on my mind. After capture, he was held as a prisoner of war for the next 7.5 years. During this time, he was repeatedly tortured by his communist captors. He also inflicted severe punishment on himself in order to thwart enemy use of him as a propaganda agent. Throughout this horrific ordeal that he experienced, he took charge of his fellow POWs, enforced a code of conduct, and was instrumental in the survival of many of his comrades. During these long years, many in solitary confinement, Admiral Stockdale never lost the faith in his ability to survive and to serve. Now, I hate to come after Admiral Stockdale, but I've had a few tough days as well. They'll never measure up to his example. I've had to recover on flight decks with 30-foot seas off of the coast of Korea in a snowstorm. Sometimes you have to take the faith in your training and what you've learned and trust that the Navy has given you what you need to do the mission and survive. I've landed mid-fuel 1,000 miles from anything out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Guam was 1,000 miles away. You're not going to make Guam in your aircraft as a divert at that point. I've stood overwatch during Iraq, and during that overwatch, the convoy that I was in charge of doing overwatch for hit an IED, and they had multiple casualties. And I sat overhead, unable to help to do anything other than to keep the enemies that were surrounding them away. So when you're experiencing difficulties, and some days are tough, look to our past leaders, such as Stockdale, McCain, Lassen, and Hudner for inspiration. The list goes on. As officers and leaders, your subordinates will look to you for the same motivation and direction that these heroes embody, and you will always have the foundation that you gained here at OCS to fall back on. I offer my congratulations to each of you for your successful completion of a challenging 12 weeks. I heard some of you did a little more last night. Well done. Thanks to your family and friends for their support. They were here for you. Mark this achievement as the first of many as you set the stage for what is to come in your career. If OCS is a sprint, the Navy is a marathon. Get ready. I ask you to embrace the Navy rule in mission accomplishment. It's a tough one. It's a hard rule. It's hard as authorized. The stakes are high. The Navy's future is in your hands. The nation's future is also in your hands. As you progress through your follow-on training, you may feel tempted to treat the Navy as a job. It's not a job. You are joining a profession of arms, a brotherhood and sisterhood that may demand incredible sacrifice, but also offers incredible personal reward that comes through service above self. The accountability and authority that you are given as an officer comes with special recognition, but there's also an expectation that you uphold the professional ethics and ethos associated with your commissioning. Although you may believe that you only have a small footprint in this large Navy, it doesn't mean that you can't have an outsized impact. Let me tell you about another of my favorite heroes, John Ripley, Marine Corps. Serving in Vietnam War, he hung below a bridge for 3 hours to attach 500 pounds of explosives while under intense enemy fire. His actions allowed for the structure to be destroyed, preventing and thwarting the progress of 20,000 enemy troops. Your decisions and individual deeds every day had the potential for significant consequences. The playwright George Bernard Shaw stated, "Liberty means responsibility. That's why so many people fear it." By selecting the Navy as a profession, you are assuming an enormous amount of responsibility, and that shows an enormous amount of bravery. You join the ranks of a very small group of people who have volunteered to defend liberty of your fellow citizens, to fight and defend freedom of other nations. The demands of service often require that you shoulder a heavy burden. The Navy refers to our constant presence as the watch. It must be one that you embrace. Remember the 70-80-90 rule. Water covers 70% of the Earth's surface, 80% of the Earth's population lives near the ocean, and 90% of all international trade travels by sea. It's a heavy burden. These facts provide insight into why the nation's demands that we stand the watch. Around the globe, unconstrained by geography, 24/7, 365 days. During war and peace, we are there and we stand the watch, spending countless days away from our loved ones to ensure peace and prosperity and security for our nation and for our partners. Over the next months and years, you must vigorously develop the professional expertise required to defend our country and our way of life. Fear of failure is something that everybody experiences. You must use that fear of failure to fuel your need and desire to learn. And then you must put that fear of failure aside when it's time to go on the bridge and perform, to go in your aircraft and fly, to go forward, because if that fear of failure overcomes you early in your career, you will not establish the follow-on foundation you need to be successful. You need to put yourself forward. You need to use that fear of failure as a tool to drive you forward, to go and seek knowledge, to seek the experience you need to grow as an officer. I've traveled all over the globe to countless countries. I've gone from the Arctic Circle to Tasmania. I've gone to Marseille, Hong Kong, Singapore, the Philippines. I will let you know that there is absolutely no country in the world that is as good or as kind or as motivated as the United States in taking care of others. We defend individual freedom and equality of the United States, but also of our partners. You are our country's investment in the future, maintaining those freedoms around the world and our way of life. You are ready to meet these demands. You will draw upon the foundations of knowledge, character, and ethics developed at OCS. You will also rely upon your fellow service members that you have forged bonds with during your 12 weeks. I could feel the camaraderie last night of your shared friendship, of your shared accomplishment. Today, you're beginning the rest of your journey. You are joining the world's preeminent naval force. The expectations placed upon you are high, but you are up to the challenge. I can only guarantee you a couple of things today. Your life will not be boring. The second thing I can guarantee you, except for our CEC officer, is a hot meal and a warm bed before you go to war. I cannot think of a more exciting time in life or more momentous start to the rest of your life, or a more rewarding way to serve your country. Congratulations and best of luck to you all.
The graduating class will now receive the oath of office. Would all military personnel in uniform please come to the position of attention?
Class 0220, attention!
Class 0222, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Having been appointed an ensign in the United States Navy. Do accept such appointment. And do solemnly swear. To support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And to bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Carry out the duties of the office I am about to enter. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Class 0220, ready, cease!
The graduates assembled will now be recognized by the commanding officer and the guest of honor for their accomplishments while undergoing training here at Officer Training Command Newport. Ensign Adame. Ensign Adame will be designated as a Naval Information Professional and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Training Command in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Adame is a graduate of California State University Fullerton. Ensign Bar Paul. Ensign Bar Paul has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer. Ensign Bar Paul is a graduate of the University of Michigan. Ensign Bar Paul is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Blake. Ensign Blake has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Blake is a graduate of the University of Maryland. Ensign Brenner. Ensign Brenner has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Brenner is a graduate of Rollins College. Ensign Brenner is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Case. Ensign Case has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Cowpens, CG-63, in San Diego, California. Ensign Case is a graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Ensign Curley. Ensign Curley has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Fitzgerald, DDG-62, in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Ensign Curley is a graduate of Stetson University. Ensign DeMoore. Ensign DeMoore has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign DeMoore is a graduate of the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Ensign DeMoore is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Denbeston. Ensign Denbeston has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Denbeston is a graduate of Huntington College. Ensign Diornellis. Ensign Diornellis has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Diornellis is a graduate of DePauw University. Ensign Drexler. Ensign Drexler has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Drexler is a graduate of the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Ensign Ferentinos. Ensign Ferentinos has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ferentinos is a graduate of Kennesaw State University. Ensign Glade. Ensign Glade has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Glade is a graduate of the University of Washington. Ensign Green. Ensign Green has been designated a Naval Information Professional and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Training Command in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Green is a graduate of the University of Hawaii, Manoa. Ensign Griffin. Ensign Griffin has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Griffin is a graduate of Hawaii Pacific University. Ensign Hancock. Ensign Hancock has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Hancock is a graduate of Central Washington University. Ensign Hendricks. Ensign Hendricks has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Hendricks is a graduate of Northern Kentucky University. Ensign Levenka. Ensign Levenka has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Levenka is a graduate of Worcester Polytech Institute. Ensign Humphreys. Ensign Humphreys has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Humphreys is a graduate of the University of Central Florida. Ensign Callenbach. Ensign Callenbach has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Callenbach is a graduate of Sage College of Albany. Ensign Kepner. Ensign Kepner is a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Paul Ignatius, DDG-117, in Mayport, Florida. Ensign Kepner is a graduate of the University of Florida. Ensign Lane. Ensign Lane has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lane is a graduate of San Diego State University. Ensign Lane is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Laubacher. Ensign Laubacher has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Laubacher is a graduate of Thomas Aquinas College. Ensign Lewandowski. Ensign Lewandowski has been designated a Naval or Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Tripoli, LHA-7, in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Ensign Lewandowski is a graduate of Oregon State University. Ensign Longbreak. Ensign Longbreak has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Longbreak is a graduate of Western Governors University, Texas. Ensign McCoskis. Ensign McCoskis has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign McCoskis is a graduate of North Carolina Wesleyan College. Ensign Marinas. Ensign Marinas has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Marinas is a graduate of California State University, Long Beach. Ensign McEwen. Ensign McEwen has been designated a naval information professional and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Training Command in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign McEwen is a graduate of the University of Michigan. Ensign McNeese. Ensign McNeese has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Sampson, DDG 102, in Everett, Washington. Ensign McNeese is a graduate of the University of Maryland University College. Ensign McPeak. Ensign McPeak has been designated as a naval intelligence officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign McPeak is a graduate of Lindenwood University. Ensign Morales. Ensign Morales has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Morales is a graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Ensign Morales is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Moyer. Ensign Moyer has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Moyer is a graduate of the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Ensign Olivar. Ensign Olivar has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Olivar is a graduate of California State University, Fresno. Ensign Ortiz. Ensign Ortiz has been designated as a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ortiz is a graduate of Simpson University. Ensign Perry. Ensign Perry has been designated a naval information professional and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Training Command in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Perry is a graduate of Colorado State University, Fort Collins. Ensign Pickens. Ensign Pickens has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Gettysburg, CG-64, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Pickens is a graduate of Georgia Southern University. Ensign Reynoso. Ensign Reynoso has been designated as a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Reynoso is a graduate of Austin College. Ensign Salakelu. Ensign Salakelu has been designated a naval information professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare Training Command in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Salakelu is a graduate of the University of Utah. Ensign Santangelo. Ensign Santangelo has been designated as a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Winston Churchill, DDG 81, in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Ensign Santangelo is a graduate of Brown University. Ensign Snow. Ensign Snow has been designated as a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Snow is a graduate of High Point University. Ensign Suitenswad. Ensign Suitenswad has been designated as a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Suitenswad is a graduate of California State University, Fresno. Ensign Watkins Lozano. Ensign Watkins Lozano has been designated as a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to the Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Watkins Lozano is a graduate of Grand Canyon University. Ensign Watson. Ensign Watson has been designated as a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Tripoli, LHA-7, in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Ensign Watson is a graduate of Texas Tech University. Ensign Williams. Ensign Williams has been designated as a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Williams is a graduate of Bethune-Cookman University. Ensign Jur. Ensign Jur has been designated as a Supply Corps officer and will be assigned to Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Jur is a graduate of Gansu Agricultural University. Ensign Arbusius. Ensign Arbusius has been designated as a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Arbusius is a graduate of the University of Delaware. Ensign Arbusius is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Asuncion. Ensign Asuncion has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Asuncion is a graduate of Emory-Riddle University. Ensign Beale. Ensign Beale has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Beale is a graduate of Virginia Military Institute. Ensign Beirut. Ensign Beirut has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Shoup, DDG 86 in San Diego, California. Ensign Beirut is a graduate of Virginia Military Institute. Ensign Brown. Ensign Brown has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to the Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Brown is a graduate of Old Dominion University. Ensign Culligan. Ensign Culligan has been designated as a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Culligan is a graduate of the University of West Florida. Ensign Daly. Ensign Daly has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Buckley, DDG 84 in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Ensign Daly is a graduate of Hawaii Pacific University. Ensign Duran. Ensign Duran has been designated a Naval Information Professional and will be assigned to the Information Warfare Training Command in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Duran is a graduate of New Mexico State University. Ensign Eberhard. Ensign Eberhard has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Macon Island, LHD 8, in San Diego, California. Ensign Eberhard is a graduate of Colorado School of Mines. Ensign Fenton. Ensign Fenton has been designated as a Cryptologic Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the Center for Information Warfare Training in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Fenton is a graduate of SUNY College at Old Westbury. Ensign Fine. Ensign Fine has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Spruance, DDG 111 in San Diego, California. Ensign Fine is a graduate of the University of Tennessee. Ensign Flynn. Ensign Flynn has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Flynn is a graduate of Dickinson College. Ensign German. Ensign German has been designated as a Civil Engineer Corps Officer and will be assigned to the Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign German is a graduate of Woodbury University. Ensign Gessner. Ensign Gessner has been designated as a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Gessner is a graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Ensign Green. Ensign Green has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Green is a graduate of St. Xavier University. Ensign Groth. Ensign Groth has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Supply Corps School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Groth is a graduate of the University of South Carolina. Ensign Guerra. Ensign Guerra has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Guerra is a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin. Ensign Haas. Ensign Haas has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Haas is a graduate of the College of Idaho. Ensign Haas is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Haruff. Ensign Haruff has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Haruff is a graduate of Indiana State University. Ensign Highland. Ensign Highland has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Highland is a graduate of the University of Maryland, College Park. Ensign Horst. Ensign Horst has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Horst is a graduate of Westchester University. Ensign Hudgens. Ensign Hudgens is a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to USS New Orleans, LPD-18, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Hudgens is a graduate of the University of Colorado, Boulder. Ensign Johnson. Ensign Johnson has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Spruance, DDG 111, in San Diego, California. Ensign Johnson is a graduate of Johns Hopkins University. Ensign Johnston, Naval Aviator, and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Johnston is a graduate of Washington College. Ensign Kivlin. Ensign Kivlin has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Comstock, LSD 45, in San Diego, California. Ensign Kivlin is a graduate of Arizona State University. Ensign Lane. Ensign Lane has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lane is a graduate of Texas State University. Ensign Lehman. Ensign Lehman has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lehman is a graduate of the University of South Carolina. Ensign Lopez Batista. Ensign Lopez Batista has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS New Orleans, LPD 18, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Lopez Batista is a graduate of Portland State University. Ensign Mandel. Ensign Mandel has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Mandel is a graduate of George Washington University. Ensign Manning. Ensign Manning has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Spruance, DDG 111, in San Diego, California. Ensign Manning is a graduate of Ashford University. Ensign Manning is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign May. Ensign May has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS America, LHA 6, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign May is a graduate of Hendrix College. Ensign McKinley. Ensign McKinley has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to the Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign McKinley is a graduate of Southern New Hampshire University. Ensign Morena. Ensign Morena has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Cole, DDG 67, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Morena is a graduate of the University of California, San Diego. Ensign Munson. Ensign Musson has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Curtis Wilbur, DDG 54, in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Munson is a graduate of the University of Missouri, Columbia. Ensign Ponce. Ensign Ponce has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Winston Churchill, DDG 81, in Mayport, Virginia. Ensign Ponce is a graduate of the University of Texas at El Paso. Ensign Ranson. Ensign Ranson has been designated Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Ranson is a graduate of the University of South Carolina. Ensign Reeves. Ensign Reeves has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Gettysburg, CG 64, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Reeves is a graduate of the University of Kansas. Ensign Richard. Ensign Richard has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Stout, DDG 55, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Richard is a graduate of the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Ensign Roberts. Ensign Roberts has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Roberts is a graduate of the University of Nevada, Reno. Ensign Roberts is a distinguished naval graduate. Ensign Silvestri. Ensign Silvestri has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Mesa Verde, LPD 19, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Silvestri is a graduate of Columbia College. Ensign Soriano Pujols. Ensign Soriano Pujols has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Stockdale, DDG 106, in San Diego, California. Ensign Soriano Pujols is a graduate of Arizona State University. Ensign Stanton. Ensign Stanton has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Shoup, DDG 86, in San Diego, California. Ensign Stanton is a graduate of Tusculum University. Ensign Tubbs. Ensign Tubbs has been designated a Naval Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Naval Intelligence Officer Basic Course in Damnick, Virginia. Ensign Tubbs is a graduate of Liberty University. Ensign Yulhorn. Ensign Yulhorn has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Iwo Jima in Newport, Florida. Ensign Yulhorn is a graduate of Tulane University. Ensign Eichfluck. Ensign Eichfluck has been designated a student naval flight officer and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Eichfluck is a graduate of George Mason University. Ensign White. Ensign White has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Kearsarge, LHD-3, in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Ensign White is a graduate of Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Ensign Young. Ensign Young has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Michael Murphy, DDG-112, in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Ensign Young is a graduate of Arizona State University. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the United States' newest naval ensigns. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay standing and to join me in recognizing the United States Navy newest ensigns with the playing of our service songs and the final dismissal.
Class 0220. Attention! Go!
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your places while the graduating class takes their class photo. And on behalf of the Commanding Officer, Training Command Newport, we thank you for your attendance in today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our graduation ceremony. Thank you very much.